If you have clicked on this video, you already know how brilliant of a software Notion is. Notion is a very powerful and yet free software that can be used to plan, track and execute anything and everything about your Notion, be it your job, your content creation, or how your new apartment is going to look like. I have been using Notion for more than 5 years, and although it is a free software, it can be a little overwhelming for the absolute beginners to start with because it has way too many useful features, let's be honest. So I have been using Notion for more than 5 years, and today in this video I'm going to teach you the absolute basics of Notion so you too as a beginner can start out using Notion and let it change your life just like it has changed mine. To start off, you need to download Notion on your computer. Although Notion is available on your phone and your iPad, to set things up it is more convenient on your computer. All you need to do is to go to notion.so/desktop and you will be getting the download link over here. I have already downloaded it, but you can download it from here no matter whether you are on Windows or Mac, it shouldn't matter. And after that you also need to sign up for Notion, so use whichever account you want. And then we can get started with the actual tutorial. So when you first open up Notion, the main interface is going to look like this. This is the navigation bar where you can keep your favorite stuff, your workspaces, team spaces, the shared notes and your private notes, everything over here. Not something you really need to worry about when you're starting out. So when you're just starting out, it is going to be in a light mode. If you are more of a dark mode fan, you can go to settings, you can go to my settings, and the first thing that you'll see on this list is the appearance. You come here, change this from light to dark, and whole Notion will be dark. Now although I personally use dark mode, for the sake of this tutorial I'm going to turn on light mode so it's easier to see for everyone. So when you start out, you need to understand that everything in Notion, all the pages and everything are built with Notion blocks. So what are blocks? A block can be anything from a title to a table to an image to a particular set of text. Anything can be a block. And basically how we can add blocks, I'm going to come to that, but before we need to title our page. So for this, the first thing that you get is the page title. You can title it whatever you want, and you can also add an icon from here. I'm going to add something like maybe, I don't know, this. And you can also add a cover page. Now these things are optional. The title is very important. Title is something that you have to give, but the icon and cover you can customize. You can change the cover from here. You can upload your own image. You can find an online link, or you can choose some stock image from Unsplash. Anything works. Okay. You can also add a comment of the page and just under the title to tell other people what this page is about. But yeah, we're not going to go into that. If you want a wider page, as you see, the page is sort of confined in the middle part of the page. You can come over here and use full width. Then the page will take up the full width of the screen, be it on mobile or iPad or your PC. You can also turn on small text if you are working on a bigger screen like me. But if you are just working on a phone, do not do that because it is going to put a lot more strain on your eyes. Alright, so that goes just like that. And after that, as you see, write something or press space or for AI and slash for commands. Now Notion AI is something that is not going to be freely available for everyone. So if you're using the absolute free version, it will just show the slash. So if you place slash, you will get all the basic blocks that you can add. You can go through this list. It's a really long list. You do not need to understand everything out of it, but at least go through the first few. Like a text, you can create and embed a different page inside a page. It can be a to-do list. To-do list is basically like toggle lists where you can check things up. It can be heading. Heading 1 is the biggest heading. Heading 2 is little smaller, and heading 3. And all the descriptions are written over here. So they are all self-explanatory. Like what is a bulleted list, numbered list, like what is a bulleted list, numbered list, toggle list, code, divider, everything you will understand from here. You can also embed images, web bookmarks, videos, audios, and also embed codes inside a Notion page. So in this particular tutorial, we will be trying to create a to-do list for us, and let's see how that goes. So first things first, we need a title. Right, I don't want to make the page title to be to-do list, so let's get started with the title. So if we come here, I'll choose title 2 and I'll write. Now what do we want in a very basic to-do list? We want to be able to add tasks and check them off. So that is what exactly to-do list does. So I can come here and write task 1, task 2, task 3, and as simple as that. As soon as I'm done with task 1, I can check that off, check that off, check that off. And that is how a very simple to-do list is made in Notion. Okay, now there are obviously more things. You can change the type of block a particular thing is. Like this to-do list is currently what? Currently it's a heading 2. I can click on this thing to open up a menu. I can delete it, I can duplicate it, I can turn it into some other type of block. Like if I want it to a heading 1, I can convert it. If I want it to be, suppose, a bulleted list, I can do that as well. So once you create a bulleted list, you can write things like to-do list. So once you create a bulleted list, you can just keep typing on more things. Item 1, item 2, and so on. You get the point, right? That is how you create that. And other than that, you can also rearrange. So you see when you hover on this 6 dots, it says drag to move and click to open menu. We clicked before it opens a menu. We can also change the color of this thing. You just have to select them. This menu will come up and you can come over here, change the color to yellow or change the background to yellow. You can do all of those things very, very easily. But as I was saying, you can also drag and move things around by clicking this 6 dots. So that is something you can do very easily. Now, another thing that you will see in a lot of Notion templates is that they have multiple columns. How do we do that? Let's do it like this. Now the to-do list is back up again. I'll turn it back into a heading, and this can be here. See, I will create another heading for the items. I will then change it to a heading 2 and move it over here. So what if we want the item and the to-do list side by side? I will drag the to-do list until I see this blue line. Now the to-do list is there. I'll select all the tasks and get them under the to-do list, and I'll select all the items and get them under items. Now you see I can keep adding more things to both of the lists without hindering any of the other lists. Now iske aage you might want to add a whole page for different notes that you want to take. What will you do? Again, press slash and select the page option. When you select the page option, I will name it notes, and a whole new page is created. And you can see it is inside that page title. I will just call it demo something, it will be easier. Now you can see there is a whole new sub page called notes created inside the demo notes. And we can also add different things, like if I can copy maybe a video link, suppose from YouTube. Let me just get something or the other. So I just copied a video link from here. So I'll just create another page called videos and images. Okay, and I will basically paste the link. It will give me several options. It can be a mention. So if I add it as a mention, it is just one line of it, and I can hover over it to see what the video looks like. Or I can just embed the whole video, right? The embedding a whole video lets us play the video right from here without worrying about anything. Similarly, you can embed Pinterest boards, images, music, a whole website, or anything else that you can think of inside a Notion page. It is as simple as that. Okay, now we'll go back to our page, and also of course you can change the icon to any of these pages. Like notes can be, I don't know, this, and as usual you can also place it to the second column, right? And if you anytime you want, you can also go ahead and add a whole new third column, and as many columns as your device has the room for. All right, now with that, the absolute basics of Notion is already covered. Now we will move on to something a little more advanced, which is called database. Now databases are something very easy to understand, but they have way too many functionalities and it can become very complex really quickly. We are not going to go into the very complicated things in this particular video, but we are going to cover the absolute basics so you can make a basic Notion database by yourself. By the way, if you are looking for an assignment tracker or a content planner, all those Notion templates are available in the description below. You can get them for free. So if you are a college student or a budding content creator, they are absolutely going to change the way you work. All right, moving along, let's create a database. As you will see, you can scroll down to see where the databases lie. You will see there's a whole section called database, and there are different views. There is a table view, there's a board view, gallery view, list view, calendar view, database inline, database full page. So we are going to start with a database inline. Now these are just different views. The same data will be stored inside a database, and you can use different views to look at it in different ways. So if we select a database full page, it is a database that takes up a full page. You cannot add anything else to that page. We are just going to use a database inline, which is basically a database taking up part of the page, but you can also add other things to the page. Because we already have other things to the page, we are going to add a database inline. So here is our database demo. Okay. And as you can see, it is currently as a table view. That is the default view of any database. All right, so this is what a database looks like. As you can see, there are attributes of a database. So database basically holds data instances. Okay, if you have studied computer science or any kind of database, it will be super simple for you. But if you haven't, I will try to make it as simple as possible. So all the rows that are in a database are instances or elements. So every element has different attributes. Like every element, like this can be a student's database. Okay, for example, it will be easier for you to understand. Student's database, the first student's name might be A, the second student's name might be B, the third student's name might be C. Now there are also different types of attributes that you can add. What are the attributes of a student name? It might be roll number. What is roll number? Now as you can see, there are different data types for the attributes that are going to add. Now roll number is a number, so we're going to select number and we are going to call the property roll number. Whatever I called attributes, Notion calls it property, so you understand. It will be called roll number. It will be a number, not a bar or a ring, and it will be wrapped in view. Perfect. Now we have a roll number, so we can add A's roll number as 1, B's roll number as 21, C's roll number as 13, and just like that. Tags is something you can go into it. See edit property. What is it? It is the multi-select property, and you can always add more properties by clicking here. It can be an email. Okay, an email is type of email, so you can add something over here, abcd@gmail.com, right? And add more emails over here, and we can add a phone number. We can also add more things like a URL. I don't know, there are way too many things that you can add in names of A. Now you see every row of a database is a page by itself. So if you hover over A, you will see this open, and this will open a whole page for A. You can add whatever you want over here. You can add different types of notes, different types of trophies, or whatever you want, but you will see all these properties that we have added to the database are available over here. You can change them over here, and you can also add new properties. Like if you want to calculate the number of students that you have, you can click on this calculate and be like count all, right? It will keep saying the total number. Like if I add a new one, this count will keep increasing. Okay, then now the roll numbers are probably something like this. Now suppose the roll numbers look something like this, but we want to have a view of the database where the roll numbers are in ascending order. How do we do that? That is when this comes in, the filter and the sorting. So whenever we want to sort our database according to a particular property, we go into sort and we go into what property we want to sort with. We want to sort with roll number, right? We click on roll number and there are two options, ascending and descending. So if we keep it ascending, you see all the roll numbers are in ascending order now, right? We can add more filters if you want, but that is how you basically use them. Now we might also want, I'll just add a few more things, like a tag, maybe class A, and okay, class A, this guy is class B. Okay, this guy is class A, this guy is class A, and this guy is class B. Now what if we want a separate view for class A students? I'll go into here, I'll create a new table view and I'll call it class A, right? And I will add a filter to it. Filter basically filters out the whole database according to whatever property we want. So we want to create it through tags, and we want only class A to show. Now you see only class A students are visible here. Similarly, you can create a class B, class C, and you can go bonkers with this. There are infinite possibilities of how you can use sorting and filters for this. Alright, there is another thing called automations, but it is not very simple to grasp, so I will not go into that. Other than that, you can also use this search button to find out different things, like if I search ABCD, because that was a particular email, it finds me that guy very easily. Okay, that is basically all the fundamentals of how a Notion database works. So these are the absolute basics that you need to know to get started with Notion. I will also want to give you a few tips and tricks some things that will make your life better. For the first thing is Control P. I can press Control P and try to find any page that I want inside of my own Notion. Like I'll create like Notion. If I type Notion, I can find the Notion template reference, the Notion beginner tutorial, and all of these things, right? It makes it really easy to find different databases or different pages inside a really crowded Notion. And because I have been using Notion for more than 5 years now, my Notion has more than 500 pages, and it takes sometimes a little bit time to find things. That is when Control P comes really handy. Other than that, whatever pages you create, you might be working on a project, working on a group project or an assignment with multiple people. So if you want to share this page with someone, you can just come up here, click on the share button, and probably I want to add this with Kuntal. If you want to share the Notion page that you have created with someone, you just come up here to the share button and click on it and add people's emails. I already have a few emails I have shared before. So as you can see, I have added Kuntal, but I can also fix how much access he has, whether he has full access, only editing access, only commenting access, or only viewing access. And if I click on this invite button, this page will be shared with him and he will also receive an email. That is as easy as it sounds. And after I have shared it, he and me can work on this project, work on whatever this page is together in real time. Okay, so that sort of wraps up the absolute basics you need to get started with Notion. Now, you remember we created a very basic to-do list at the start of this video that looked like this. Now, how can we make a better to-do list with the use of databases? Let's have a look. So this is the one small project I'll be building in this particular video, but if it feels like I'm moving too fast, you can just slow down and rewind and watch back, okay? Alright, so let's make some space over here and I will create a database inline, okay? I'll create a database inline. Now for a to-do list, I personally feel like it will be better if it's a different view, not a table view. So if you come here, you'll be seeing something called a board view. Now what does board view do? Board view you can add basically different tags for different columns. How we can do that? So I will just basically go here and go to properties. There is tags, you see. I'll change the tags property to status. And I'll add options like not started, another option called in progress, another option called completed, right? I added 3 options, and basically those are the 3 states any task in your to-do list can be at, right? So what we want to do is, so what you can do over here is add like different tasks, like task 1, task 2, there is task 3. I will also add a task 4. So this is the no status. These things can be like all your ideas of tasks that you want to go ahead and start with at some day, but you don't really know when to do it. Task 1 might be something that is not started, but you want to start it very quickly. So that goes into not started. Task 2 might be something in progress. And similarly, task 3 might be something that is completed. And suddenly you see, I'll just move these over, not started on the left, in progress, and then completed. Now you can create a new task called task 5, and that is currently no status, but suddenly today I wake up every day and I can look at all the tasks that are in my no status and choose maybe, okay, task 5 is something that I want to do today. I'll just bring it over to not started. Very simple. And whenever I start working on it, I'll just move it over to in progress. Whenever I'm done with it, I'll just move it over to completed, and so on and so forth. It is that easy to make a to-do list, a very good to-do list with Notion. Once you understand the ins and outs and how all these things works, how these things are grouped, how the properties can be used to sort, can be used to filter. Once you understand all of these things, Notion is your playground, and the limit is only your imagination. You can do anything and everything in Notion. So obviously it will take you some time to get used to building things with Notion, especially building complex things. But if you're currently in college and if you're looking for a very useful and functional Notion template that can amplify your college life, your academics, your grades, there is a link in the description. And also if you're a budding content creator looking for a content planner, because all your content ideas just get lost. You want a place to store your ideas, ideate them, script them, and execute, plan, track, and do anything and everything related to content creation in one Notion template that is also available in the description for absolutely free. If those templates help you, do let me know in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope I could give you a really good head start in Notion, and I hope Notion changes your life just as much it has changed mine. Thanks a lot for watching again. Bye bye.